What up, everybody? This is the Power Rankings Top 10 NFL style for week 2, baby. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for staying with me. If you guys watched the Fast Break Sports Hour, if you guys didn't watch Fast Break Sports Hour, go back, man. Check out that video and catch up on sports, catch up on everything NFL, Major League Baseball. But this is the top 10 for the NFL Power Rankings. After 2 weeks, we saw some changes because we saw number one New England Patriots go down and go down in flames. Do they stay in the top 10? Find out. Who else fell out of the top 5? Man, the Eagles, they were at number 3, took a loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another one on the chin, you know. How far did they fall? And then what two teams came into the top 10? Let's get this thing started, man. We don't need no more Intros. This is Fast Break for the Fast Break Sports Hour. Top 10 Power Rankings, Week 2. Here we go. Who's at number 10? We got a new team at number 10, the Atlanta Falcons. Man, they took care of business at home against the Carolina Panthers, who were in my top 10. Did they stay in my top 10 even with the loss on the road? Find out. But the Atlanta Falcons, man, no Devontae Freeman, but Tevin Coleman, man, stepped up in there and said, you know what? I'm the better running back of the two. Big win at home, division foe against the Carolina Panthers. They move up to 10. They lost week 1, but it was a close game against the defending champions. Neither team looked decent. They kind of struggled. But the Falcons got back on track, beating the Panthers 31-24. They're the number 10 team to round out the top 10. Who's number 9? At number 9, we have Ryan Fitzmagic and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, beginning of the season, before week 1, I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 30. Now they're number 9. That's what happens when you got Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's what happens when you throw for over 800 yards, throw for 8 touchdowns, and you beat the Saints on the road. You beat the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles at home. They beat 2 top 10 teams when they were in my rankings at the time. So that's enough for me to catapult you from before week 1, preseason, number 30, to number 9. We do things real here. Let's not have them slowly climb the list. Beating 2 pretty good teams. Number 9, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got a tough one, though, Monday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, did they fall off? Man, I had them drop in last week's Power Rankings to number 8. Where are they now? At number 8, we have the Carolina Panthers, dropping 2 spots, still in the top 10. Hey, there's nothing wrong with losing on the road by a touchdown to the Atlanta Falcons. Did what they could. It was a tough loss. Matt Ryan scores 2 touchdowns on the ground. I thought that was Cam Newton's job. Christian McCaffrey had a pretty good game in the air. They still got to run the ball a little bit more. They lose 31-24. Cam Newton didn't play too bad in this game. Again, you're on the road. It's tough to say you're going to win this game. So I'm not going to give you guys a whammy for losing on the road to a division foe. And you only lost by a touchdown. Game was pretty close the whole time. So you're going to drop 2 spots from 6 to 8, but you're still in the top 10. Carolina Panthers at number 8. So right now, everything seems to be close to the vest, right? Because the 2 teams that jumped into the top 10, I've already announced them. So everybody else stays the same, but just in different order. At number 7, this team drops 4 spots from number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't take them out of the top 10. They're still 1-1, and with Carson Wentz getting ready to come back, jump back on the saddle, take his spot, rightfully so, I got to keep them right there because I expect this team to be in the top 10 throughout the season. Remains to be seen. But Carson Wentz and the Eagles, tough loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 27-21. Hey, man, you lost to the number 9 team. Nothing wrong with that. But you're not going to stay at 3. You're going down to number 7. And this thing is not supposed to stop, man. Don't upset me, man. You just keep going like that. Number 6, Minnesota Vikings. They jump up a spot. It's a tie. But they went to Lambeau Field and didn't lose against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. It's a tie. You jumped up a spot simply because, again, you didn't lose in Lambeau. A tie is a tie, but teams above you lost. So I'm not going to keep you there. You're going to move up a little bit. You move up 1 spot for the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins, man, Looking to Thielen, looking to Stephon Diggs, both of them the same. Man, they both had monster numbers. Kirk Cousins throwing for over 400. Man, 4 touchdowns. They're not talking about him. They talking about Patrick Mahomes. They talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick. But ain't nobody really saying much about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins deserves a little bit of notoriety here. Let's be real with it. Minnesota Vikings, man, they jump up a spot to number 6. And speaking about jumping up a spot, Green Bay Packers. You know, you don't have Aaron Rodgers at 100%. You don't have Devontae Adams at 100%. Defense is suspect. Almost got the win against the Minnesota Vikings. And if it wasn't for Clay Matthews' late hit, I don't think it was a late hit. I don't think that should have been a flag. But it is what it is. If it wasn't for that play, you're talking about 2-0 against the Minnesota Vikings, who I hold in high regards up to this point. Defense is incredible, and they were still able to put up 29 points. Aaron Rodgers was doing his thing, even though he wasn't at full health. Probably took another shot, you know, got one of them pills to stay happy with it and do his thing. He did his thing. You move up one spot again because other teams lost that were ahead of you. Packers go up to number 5. And speaking of teams that dropped because they lost, New England Patriots. You're at number 4. You were at number 1 last week, so we have a new number 1. And that's not a surprise here because they got manhandled by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, did the Jaguars get to 1? We'll find out here in a little bit. But the Patriots at number 4, don't fret. Man, they got Josh Gordon from a trade with the Cleveland Browns. You know he's going to do big things. That's just what the Patriots do. You know, people say, well, is it Randy Moss or is it Ocho Cinco all over again? This ain't Ocho Cinco. Josh Gordon is a beast. And I'm not saying he's not going to put up Randy Moss numbers, but he's going to be a force. And now the Patriots are going to be full force as they go into Sunday night against the lowly Detroit Lions and Matt Patricia, Bill Belichick licking his chops like I'm going to teach the student how it's done. Lions are reeling right now, man, looking real bad. Patriots will get back on track. Patriots dropped 3 spots from 1 to 4, still in the top 5, but you're just not in the top 3 because the top 3 deserves to go to teams that are undefeated and teams that are proving their points. And the team that's proving their point, the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh yeah, they jump up a big leap, 6 spots. The Kansas City Chiefs jump 6 spots. They're now number 3. That offense is ridiculous. They can't stop the pass, but they can stop the run. Maybe they can stop the run because teams say, we're not going to run on you, we're going to pass on you. And they have to pass because they're always behind because Patrick Mahomes is throwing 2 touchdowns every quarter. That's how crazy the Kansas City Chiefs are right now. Man, this aerial assault that they bring every weekend, it's a little bit early, I thought. But Patrick Mahomes is like, nope, it don't matter. I'm going to do the same thing Deshaun Watson did last year. I'm going to come out every week, man, guns blazing, throwing bombs all day, all night. Kansas City Chiefs with all those weapons. They're number 3, 2-0. Man, it hurts me to say that with me being a fan of the Denver Broncos, but I got to be real with it. Kansas City Chiefs, number 3 team right now in the top 10. Number 2, the team that took down the New England Patriots, the Jacksonville Jaguars, didn't make it all the way to 1. It's going to be, you know, a steady climb. They go from 4 to 2. That's a pretty good jump, you know, basically switching spots with the Patriots. Patriots go from 1 to 4. But with the Jacksonville Jaguars dominating the Patriots, they go to number 2. There's nothing wrong with being the best team in the AFC when you look at the rankings. Number 2 right now. Defense is still the defense, man, shutting down Gronkowski. Who would ever thought that? But they were smart. They're like, who are we going to stop for the Patriots? Who's the most important part right now for the Patriots? Well, no Edelman, you know. They lost a couple running backs last week. Let's stop Gronkowski. And that's what they did, shutting them down for 2 catches for 15 yards. Man, that's a hell of a defensive effort. And Blake Bortles looking like Tom Brady. Holy moly, throwing 4 touchdowns. Man, throwing for a boatload of yards to receivers that we don't even know their names yet. Keelan Cole and D.D. Westbrook, for those of you that don't know. No LeGarrette. No Leonard Fournette. No LeGarrette Blount either. That dude should get kicked out for what he did on Sunday, getting into that bull sugar. But no Leonard Fournette. TJ Yeldon just started running back, and they still pull off the win, 31-20. They're the number 2. And without further ado, the number 1 team after 2 weeks of NFL football, the Los Angeles Rams dominated the Arizona Cardinals. I expected domination, but I didn't expect a shutout. And they shut out the Cardinals. The Cardinals are just looking horrible. Cardinals are averaging 3 points a game. Score 6 against the Redskins, 0 against the Rams. But the Rams defensively are a force. And you look at them in the last 6 quarters, 57-0. That's their score in the last 6 quarters because they were down at halftime week 1 against the Raiders, 13-10. They haven't given up 1 point since. They're like, okay, let's show the league why we're the best team in football. They are the best team in football. Todd Gurley's shown why he's possibly the best running back in football. And Jared Goff is still Jared Goff, man. He's continuing to do what he did last year. No fall off. Brandon Cooks playing a little bit better than what he did with the Patriots. The team is looking complete. They're the number 1 team. I continue them. I believe they're going to continue their winning ways. They got the Chargers on Sunday. I got the Rams in that game, but we'll talk about that more. That's your power rankings for week 2. Thank you for joining me on Fast Breaks, NFL week 2 top 10 power rankings. Let's see if next week your team can get into the top 10. There's some teams that are lurking to get in there, but I couldn't get in there. Couldn't get in there. Man, I couldn't. Just like I can't say the words, these teams couldn't get into the top 10. But I couldn't put them in the top 10. Maybe if they do some damage this week, man, Bengals, man, Broncos, man, Dolphins. I know y'all 2-0. Show me something this week and you might crack the top 10. That's what I have for y'all. Thank you for joining me. I'm out.